This is Progress Culture.
Yeah, it's funny. The pitching thing, I think, is one of the roots of my interest in this as well, because I was a pitcher growing up in high school, and it fits a lot of this conversation, right? Because you're the center of attention. Everybody's looking at you. The game literally doesn't move unless you take action, and you have to get on the mound and everything that Dominic said about being a musician also fits the bill.
Music's the same thing.
Yeah,
most of it is.
Yeah, it's
until you strum the chord. Until it doesn't start.
Or
hit the drum.
You don't see all of the work that goes into learning to pitch effectively, right? The motions, right? Just that deliberate practice that's required from standing there and just lifting your leg up and down a million times in the perfect way, and then
that's one of the reasons I'm good at yoga.
Yeah,
is literally
the balance required.
There's a yoga pose where you have to lift your leg and hold it.
Totally,
I could do it for hours. and everyone's like, "Why are you so good at standing on one leg?" And I'm like, "Oh,
But it's the perfect example, because then you have to focus. I think that there's a mindfulness practice within pitching where you take a deep breath and you have to visualize where you're going to throw that ball, how you're going to move your body, and then you just have to execute, and that's where the flow portion comes in. So this is a micro fluctuation that we're talking about within seconds, in milliseconds of each other, where you take that breath, you visualize, you look, and then you do, right?
Yeah.
And that could be a ball, it could be a strike. Yeah. One pitch you're in flow, the next pitch your mind goes somewhere else and you overthrow it, and you see pitchers in the major leagues just throw a ball into the crowd, right? It's just
that's interesting.
Crazy.
I've never really considered it in that way. It's been clear to me in some way that this wasn't the word that I was using for it, but what you're calling mindfulness and what you're pointing out from being able to put yourself in positions with your body is something that has really facilitated a lot of my understanding, my ability, whether or not it's musically or in flow or just conceptually and philosophically and spiritually. A lot of that has come from the things that Jerry has taught me and Paul has taught me, and a lot of it coming from the drums and man, the Wicked Chops practice pad. I know we've talked about it several times, but I'm pretty sure you could give that to damn near anybody who's not, they don't necessarily have to be a drummer or even a martial artist or anything like that. Just the idea of sitting down and looking at this tiny thing and saying, down, up, wrists go up and down. Rest of the body completely relax and pay attention.
Can I comment on the irony of the fact that we're talking about mindfulness and flow and how many distractions are taking place right now?
And it's actually a good segue too, because I think that these are transferable skills, which in the future and even now, especially right now and during this pandemic, are super important, right? So just the ability to apply a skill that you have in one role or one situation to an entirely different one. I think that's true as far as this ability to control your attention is important in whatever task it is that you're going to end up doing. So, when we're talking about pitching, right? But that ability to hone in, we're talking about, and to refocus on this person's glove in the middle of a stadium where thousands of people are screaming your name or booing you, whatever, right? That skill is also the same skill that you have when you're at the it's a little bit different, but the idea that you're at your desk and you need to get a report finished and somebody's calling you, or you're getting emails, but you're able to go back to the thing that you actually were doing. You might learn that skill when you're a little kid pitching, and then you're still using that same skill in that situation that I'm talking about.